What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we got my new back routine. I've decided to switch up my program. I'm going to take you guys on exercise execution. First, I'm going to start with a row. The focus for me on this movement is not to isolate anything. I'm just trying to target my whole back, all right? When you're setting yourself up, I like to have my hips ever so slightly back and my chest resting on the pad, okay? I want to avoid extending my spine. If I extend my spine, it's really hard for me to brace, all right? So I like to keep my ribcage down, keep a neutral spine. This will allow me to, when the set gets hard, I initiate, fill my lungs up. The big mistake people make on this movement, as they're pulling, they're shrugging up. So they're here, and then they shrug up to pull. The issue with that is, you're not targeting your back, you're targeting your traps. As you initiate the rep, you want to think about locking in your shoulder blade. So we're here, you want to retract your shoulder blade, and then pull, all right? Squeeze the shoulder blade, then think about driving back with your elbow. What I want to see from you is that you're killing it at either end. When I'm in this top position, I'm going to kill it for a second. Then I'm going to control it back in. Get to the bottom, big weight. Fast, strong and hard, yeah? So, on your lat pull down, setting yourself up, I want you to avoid, when I say chest up, again, the same principle as the row. I want you to lean back from the hips ever so slightly, right? Avoid extending your chest. Having your chest extended, it's gonna be really hard to brace when the set gets harder. What I want you to focus on, rib cage down, and lean back ever so slightly. Again, that's gonna keep a neutral position. In the top position, as you start, your shoulder blades are fully extended. So I like to tell clients, shrug up to the ceiling for me, okay? This is gonna make sure the lat is fully lengthened. Before you initiate, you drop your shoulder blades to lock them back in, okay? Okay, so what you should have noticed here, as I'm depressing, I'm initiating by driving my elbows down, okay? A big mistake people like to make is they've elevated, they've just dropped the shoulders, and as they pull in, they shrug up, all right? That's already taking tension off the lats. We're really trying to lock in and isolate the lats. Think about keeping that down. So how I like to tell my clients, they're here, drop, and as they're pulling down with their elbow, they're driving their shoulder blade down at the same time, yeah? You should even, if you practice it quickly, you can feel your lats switch on. We're here, drop, and drive this down and this down at the same time. You're gonna feel your lats on, okay? The point of training is to always get the origin and the insertion as close as possible. The lat starts around here and inserts here, yeah? Around this part here. So you wanna get these 2 points as close as possible. So for me, I like a semi-supinated row, okay? Similar to the row that we did earlier on. Letting the shoulder blades go, and then locking the shoulder blades back in, okay? As you're pulling, you want to avoid using that bicep to pull up. So a common mistake I see is we're here and then people are pulling in like this. You can see there's a lot of biceps, okay? You want to think about retracting the shoulder blades and driving the elbow back, keeping your chest nice and tall. So I caught myself very quick. There was a few reps where I wanted to shrug as I initiated. You're here, lock the shoulder blade and think about pulling. Avoid trying to shrug up, because that's just compensation. Again, you're using your traps, which is taking the tension off the lats. That's the problem. The reason you're probably stuck with your aesthetic or your strength is because you're not isolating the muscle group as best as you could. So if you learn anything from this video, I want you to apply that principle. Make sure you're keeping tension and isolating the muscle that is working as much as possible. Pull-ups is one of those exercises where you have to be patient, all right? It's a complex movement, it's a hard movement, and I see a lot of people want to get better at their pull-ups. The reason you're probably stuck on pull-ups is because you're not isolating the lat as best as you could be, okay? To start your pull-up, you want to make sure you're fully lengthened, then you want to shrug and get your lats involved, okay? Like the lat pull down, the intention of the movement is to drive your elbows down to your pockets. You want to think about closing this gap. It's important that you're not using any momentum, all right? You're gonna get a little bit of biceps, which is okay, but again, it's not a bicep curl, all right? Common breakdowns that I see when people are doing pull-ups is they're using their biceps to get them up. It's a lot of elbow flexion, so they're bending their elbows, all right? There's a difference between this, driving the intention down, and curling up from the elbows, all right? The main reasons I switched up my program is that I enjoyed lifting heavy, I enjoyed getting stronger, but at my age, I've been getting a lot of aches and pains and niggles and stuff. So I decided to myself, going heavy and all that stuff is fun, but I want to be training for a long time, for the rest of my life. So I'm trying to be a bit more smart with my training, focusing more on form, tempo. The strength will come. I'm not too worried about the strength coming. The strength will come, and the aesthetic goals will come at the same time. The focus is to get stronger, slower, and smarter. I'm going to move on to face pulls now. I'm going to hit my rear delt. One, it's going to help us with shoulder health, and two, it's going to help us with our posture. So many variations of face pulls that you can do. For me, the variation I like the most is a seated, high to low. For me, seated is just it's one less thing for me to think about. It's a very natural arm path for me. You want to drive the elbows out and away, really shortening that delt at the top. I like to squeeze my shoulder blades together to ensure I get the most out of that delt. Yeah. Rear delt is a very small muscle group, so it's within your best interest to keep the tension on that muscle as much as you can. So what I want to, when you're pulling, as the set gets harder, you want to avoid the elbows dipping, all right? As soon as that happens, there's tension off the delt. You want to keep your arms and elbow in line with the cable as you pull, all right? When it starts to get hard, avoid dipping the elbows or avoid shrugging to get it up. Just drop the range. So we're gonna move on to shrugs. The main thing you want to avoid when doing shrugs is momentum. Very easy to use momentum on this. And it can come from everywhere, places that you wouldn't even think. Common mistakes I see, people are bending at the elbows to get the weight up. There's a difference between this and this, all right? The weight still moves up, but the target muscles are different. Another thing I see people do is they're using their knees to jerk up.